Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm the Tailorette, and this video is a continuation of the other video of when I made the Cinderella dress and I was unhappy with the skirt. So this video, I am redoing it. I'm untaking the skirt, or taking the skirt off and starting over. So back to the drawing board where I had no skirt and just the bodice. So the plan of action is to use a pleater machine. Now, I purchased an older one off of eBay, but I prefer to buy one brand new. I have a link below to which one I would recommend purchasing below, but here I am adding my 4 needles. I'm only using 4 needles for this part of the skirt. So as I'm looking at this skirt, from what I remember, I have to remeasure, but I want to say I did 7 yards of fabric for this whole thing. So I'm going to cut it down because I just think there's too much. It looks way too bulky, so I'm going to cut it down a couple of yards. Things first, I've got to take out all of this pleating that I did by hand. I am not thrilled with my hand pleating job. Just going to press these pleats out to make it all nice and flat. So when you gather along the selvage line, it'll create some rippling effect in your gathers and the gathers won't drape nicely. Now you can gather along the selvage because it can create an extra poof. However, with this, I do not want the extra poof. So I did a test on both. I'm not sure if you can see the difference. Here we go. So this might seem silly, but you can see this is a lot flatter. These are gathered the same amount and this one just looks very poofy and it's flaring out more, like it's just gonna make it come out more. Whereas this drapes nice and straight, and see how this flares out? You can just see the bumps. Maybe it's just me, but I can tell the difference between the two. I'm going to switch around the skirt because I think that was my problem. Part of the problem with the previous skirt is that I actually gathered everything along the selvage. I needed to do it this way, perpendicular to the selvage, not parallel to the selvage. So I'm going to switch around the fabric so that I have it perpendicular with the selvage, and that'll make the pleats drape really nicely down. I do not want this rippling effect and to make it look like it's a big balloon. As you can see, this is the skirt piece. I have not done anything with it since I took it apart or off the bodice. And this is the bottom hem. You can see I have the selvage on the bottom hem, which means I just started sewing panels together just raw like that. I need to switch it around. So I'm cutting this seam and I'm going to switch the fabric. So it's going the other way. So the selvage is going this way. The grain matters, y'all. If you don't have the grain the right direction, it will affect the way your fabric drapes. I'm gonna see where all of our yardage is at here. I have no idea how many yards I put in here. I think it's 7, but I'm gonna measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 5 yards. So after I had all my fabric cut, I went through the process of putting it through the pleater machine and briefly pinned it to the dress and took a look. Okay, this is not attached to the skirt, so it looks really dumpy right now, but my problem is this still looks really bunchy. However, I could stick with it, but I did do another experiment because as you can see, there's an extra layer that I folded under so that I'd have a smooth edge up here. Well, I just did an experiment with just one layer and there's the raw edge right there. And while I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, I do think it looks a little bit more delicate. It still looks very puffy, so I think it's a material issue. So here is my theory. I think the dress in the movie is one layer somehow. So I'm going to experiment and I'm gonna take because I folded it all the way down to here. I don't know if you can see that line, but I'm gonna try and fold it up to here. And so by the time it comes out, it's lighter. There's just something really bulky about this that I don't like. So I'm basically cutting just what I had folded over down to about 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch all the way around. And I'm leaving it folded because I can't have a raw edge at the top of the skirt. And we're back to square whatever, trying to fold up or pleat these pieces. And I think it's starting to look a little bit more delicate because in the pictures, her dress looks very light at the skirt. The skirt is pinned to the bodice and it looks really lumpy, but I'm gonna see just a glimpse of what it's gonna look like on the man. So overall, I think it looks a lot better. It looks more delicate, not as clumpy. So I decided to go ahead and just start stitching it to the bodice and wrap up this project because it's going on way too long. And so here I am stitching each pleat. So this was the way before when I did the skirt very first time. It looks very lumpy compared to this. This is now what it looks like and it's ready for hemming. And I also made the underskirt to go underneath. I made them separate so that the layers wouldn't be so thick up here in the pleats. So now I need to hem it to the correct length. So I'm basically pulling out the skirt to go all the way down to the bottom of the table, and I'm gonna trim it at the table because I'm doing 35 inches from the top to the bottom, and I have to make sure that this underneath is trimmed as well. And we are done. The dress is ready to be modeled. I am very pleased with how this dress turned out. However, I do think there is a different material that was used in the film that was not quite a cotton wall that it's a different type or lighter weight or something like that, or they dealt with it differently that I'm not sure about, but it's not laying exactly like in the film. However, I think it looks wonderful anyway. So hit that subscribe button, like this video because I have another project that I'm really excited about, really excited about, and you will not want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button, please.